Hi, very good morning, one and all. Let us coming to sixth chapter, reproduction, the generating system. Regarding reproduction, in the previous classes, already we have learned about the topics which are covered in the previously. The definition about reproduction. I mean, what is mean by reproduction? What is mean by reproduction, or how to define reproduction as a life process? Is it clear, children? So the first topic, the first and foremost important concept regarding this reproduction is what is mean by reproduction, or what is the importance of reproduction as a life process. Let us come into the importance of reproduction. Importance of reproduction in living organisms, or how the reproduction makes continuation of life. Next we move to another important concept, the modes of reproduction in living organisms. The modes of reproduction in living organisms. Obviously, the living organisms can reproduce by the mainly two ways. One is sexual mode of reproduction. The second one is asexual mode of reproduction. First we take asexual mode of reproduction. So let us come into the asexual means absence of the sexual organs. So there is no question of the gametes, there is no question of the fusion of the gametes. Simply the parent one gives rise to daughter ones. This is called as a asexual mode of reproduction. Apart from that asexual mode of reproduction, in the textbook concern, we are having the subtopics like vegetative propagation. So what is the meaning of vegetative? Do you know vegetative parts of the plants like leaves, roots, stem, some other methods like stolons, suckers, bulbils, rhizomes. So these are the some other corms, these are the some other parts of the plant which can able to produce the whole plant. So the ability of the plant is called as a vegetative propagation. I mean that except the flower, the remaining whole plant body parts of the plant which are able to produce the new plant, that we call as a vegetative propagation. That occurs in the nature by mainly two ways. One is the natural vegetative propagation, as we discussed, like the leaves, stem, stolons, bulbils. These are all the examples of natural vegetative propagation. Sometimes we can do these vegetative propagation in the artificially, for example, cutting, layering and grafting. Is clear, children? So cutting, layering and grafting, these are the traditional methods or the practices of artificial propagation in a commercial point of view. So as per the customer's choice or the farmer's choice, the farmers can do selecting the cutting method or layering or a grafting method. So they usually use this artificial vegetative propagation in a traditional practice. Then important concept regarding this artificial vegetative propagation. Apart from that, do you know concept in the textbook concern? We move to the tissue culture. So, of course, you have a basic idea about that the culture, agriculture or agricultural practices. Culture means development, the practice of development, progressing of development. So, tissue culture means a group of cells or the mass of the cells which are having the similar structure and similar function. So, combinedly, we can call it a term tissue culture. So, in this tissue culture technique, we can propagate, we can develop the plants in a controlled conditions within a short span of time. I mean that we can multiply the plants in a controlled conditions, disease-free conditions. So, this is the way which we have to use that a new technique that we call as a tissue culture was introduced by G.H. Haberland. It is more or less similar to the test tube babies, IVF treatment, in vitro fertilization, how the fusion takes place in the test tube. After a week days, we can implement in that or implantation in that the carrier of a mother. Like the same way, we have to select the desired, the target tissue, and we have to place in a test tube and providing some nutrition media like agar-agar, leave them for a week days. So within a week, see, these hairs means explant which are collecting from the desired plant that can be providing by the nutrients and the light and other factors which are essential to that. So obviously within a days it can be starts development or germination. After germination or sprouting, after week days we can transplant this plant into that baby plant or a nursery So this is the way they can develop the number of the plant, multiply the number of the plants within a short span of time. So these are the advantages of artificial propagation. So generally natural vegetative propagation means, for example, see Morea means Karvepa. So the roots can develop the new plants. Biofilm, the leaf margins can develop the buds. Like that, corms, colocasia, onions, bulbs. So these are the natural ways. But when we are coming to the artificial vegetative propagation, so these are the advantages and coming to the natural propagation. Natural vegetative propagation compared to artificial vegetative propagation is better. So next, coming to the next concept regarding spores formation. Actually, what do you mean by spores? Spores are nothing but the asexual mode of representatives of the fungus as well as the common bread mold. For example, say bread mold or a rhizophus. Already we are having that basic idea in this concept on the 8th class itself. So spores formation, especially in the reproductive part, spore formation formed by the fungus. See, let us take this is a common bread mold which are given to the textbook concept. So when we are moving to the textbook page number 121, see this is the textbook page number 121. When we are moving to the textbook page number 121, we are having the rhizophus growing on bread or rhizophus under microscope, rhizophus sporangium. So sporangium means it is a knob-like structure which are having the spores. So this is called as a sporangium. Spores are the representatives of the fungus reproductive parts. Next, the fine thread-like projections. The fine thread-like projections of the filament is called as a hyphae. So this is called as a hyphae. These are the spores which are floating or existing in the nature. And whenever they have to find out the favorable conditions of the food substances, they have to settle down and they have to start the development by this sporulation. So this is called as a Rhizophus sporangium. Rhizophus sporangium or rhizophus under microscope, rhizophus growing on a bread. See, these are the information regarding about sporangium. Next we move to the rhizophus produces hundreds of microscopic reproductive units called as spores. Generally we may notice that the blackish powder-like substances and the rotten fruits or coconut or a bread or a fine white these thread-like structures, when we touch these rotten fruits or vegetables or food substances, when we have to touch that the rotten part, the powder-like substance are stick on the fingers. So when we have to notice, when we have to observe, keen observation under the microscope of these spores, it will be visible like that the blackish powder-like substances that we call as a sporangium. So this is the information given to the textbook concerns about spore formation. So finally I would like to conclude this concept. Spores are nothing but the reproductive parts which are formed by this fungus. So this is the structure of the sporangium. Sporangium is a knob-like structure which are having a filament. So these fine thread-like projections is called as a hyphae. When we have to cut this hyphae, they have to develop into individual. So this is the similar way to that cutting. Is clear, children? Or a fragmentation. So this is the information about spore formation. Next we move to the lab activity which are regarding about the rhizophus or which we call as commonly common bread mold fungus. So what we are supposed to do? First let me take a bread slices and we have to place on a moist condition. Just we have to sprinkle the water. Leave them for half an hour or 30 minutes time duration which is exposed to contamination of air. Afterwards we can take these bread slices, keep on the polythene bag and we have to sprinkle some water and we kept these sprinkled bread slices in a dark and damp places which is preferably to the kitchen. So after 2 or 3 days when we have to take it back, afterwards we have to cut this polythene bag, and we have to collect some bread slices using these forceps. When we place on the glass slide and keep the 1 or 2 drops of water and spread these bread slices, that means spores, evenly enter this glass slide. When we observe under the microscope, it should be appear like a fine thread-like projections that we call as usually sporanium or spores. So spores are nothing but the reproductive agents which are represented by the fungi, as well as fungus. See, the sporophyll which are also produced in that fern plants. I mean that spores are formed by the fungus, not only fungus but also by these fern plants. So when we observe the fern plants leaves, the black dark color structures which we notice that we call as a sporophylls. See, this is the information about the sporophyll. See children, when we observe the fern plant, the blackish dots like structures that we call as a ferns also produce spores. So this is called as a sporophyll. So this is the information about the topic spore formation, lab activity of rhizophus or common bread mold fungus. Next, sporophyll, which are also produced by these fern plants. So I mean all the non-flowering plants like cryptogams. These cryptogams are non-flowering plants. They can reproduce by the different methods. Some are vegetative parts like plant parts. Some are fern plants or the fungal plants. They can develop by these sporophyll or spores. So these sporulation technique which can usually followed by these fern plants as well as the fungal plants. Is it clear children? Next we are moving to the another topic that we call as a sexual mode of reproduction. So next video we are going to learn about that what are the advantages of sexual reproduction when compared to asexual mode of reproduction. Especially in the 10th class, once again we have to discuss about that the detailed physiology of human body, especially in the reproductive, male reproductive system and female reproductive system. Is clear children? So thank you for watching this video.